Welcome to this webinar presentation on sleep issues. My name's Clare Dale and I'm a play therapist and social worker within the Centre for Adoption Support, Adoption Matters. I provide post-adoption support to families at varying points in their adoption journey. Supporting and managing sleep issues with and for your child, either early into their adoption journey with you, or if something has triggered a period of sleep routine regression, is a frequently raised issue with many of our families. Within this webinar, I've drawn upon the book by Kay Vaughan and Alan Burrell called Parenting a Child with Sleep Issues, available from Cont, Helping Your Child to Sleep by Kent Post-Adoption Service and Cont, and The Sleep and Sensory Integration, a Guide for Parents, created by Theresa May Benson and the Spiral Foundation. Today, I'd like to explore the following key themes with you. Explore why sleep is important. Consider why there might be sleep difficulties linked to the global impact of trauma. Thinking about sleep hygiene and sensory support strategies that can be used prior to bedtime. So sleep, why is it important? We know from numerous research studies that getting enough good quality sleep is vital to our global, physical and mental health and well-being. Vaughan and Burrell remind us that sleep helps the brain to absorb and process information and stimuli from our waking hours. It helps our physical body to rest and repair. The growth hormone is secreted during deep sleep. There are fewer heart problems with good sleep. There is a lower risk of obesity. Sleep deprivation affects the hormone leptin, which signals us to stop eating. Increases attention span. Helps to boost learning and memory. Good sleep also helps with emotional regulation. We expect that disrupted sleep patterns might go hand in hand with the journey of having a newborn baby, and that, for most people, means temporary sleep deprivation. However, for our adopters, the impact of transitions, loss and change can have a significant impact when their children join them at different points in their journey together. Sleep deprivation may well be a more long-term impact both for the child and the whole family system. According to studies by Rettick and McCarthy-Rettick, Minnis et al., Torella and Miller, and Weiss and al., sleep difficulties occur in approximately 48 to 70% of adoptive children compared to roughly 25% of the general child population. Recent research studies have shown that disrupted sleep patterns can have a negative effect on the long-term health projections for people who suffer with long-term sleep disruptions. When we focus on sleep challenges for adoptive children, we often forget to focus on the lived reality for our adopters. Lack of sleep for children cumulatively impacts on their ability to manage and regulate their bodies and minds, as well as their ability to safely and effectively decision make and problem solve. Crucially, allied to this, lack of sleep for the parent or parents supporting that child also affects the level of emotional resilience our adopters have within themselves. If our adoptive parents become too physically and mentally tired, their ability to emotionally support and contain both themselves and their children too can be profoundly affected. Their buckets can literally become too full. The impact of trauma is complex and unique to every individual because of how it's experienced, shaped and defined by that person. For young children who are either pre-verbal and or unable to cognitively process what their bodies and minds have witnessed and experienced, this trauma can manifest in issues with eating, sleeping, toileting and their attachment relationships. As all behaviour is language, sleep disruption can sometimes indicate this distress. For children who have experienced adverse early experiences either in the womb or post-birth, they haven't had the opportunity to have cumulative, positive and safe serve and returns in the brain, which would help them to learn safely and coherently about cause and effect. Kent Post-Adoption Service suggests that the main sleep problems encountered by adopted children include the following: avoidance or fear about going to bed, separation anxiety at bedtime, difficulties falling asleep, nighttime waking, nighttime terrors and nightmares. So why are sleep issues more pervasive in adoptive children? We need to think about the hyper-alert body, For children who've had prenatal substance exposure, inconsistent and incoherent early caregiving, and lack of structure, predictability and routine, such as positive sleep hygiene and bedtime routines, actually getting their body and mind into a state where it feels relaxed and calm, a prerequisite for achieving settled sleep, can be really challenging for them and for you. These care experienced children will often be hypervigilant and or hyper-aroused and may have difficulties in processing and integrating the information received by their senses through the waking day. Let's think about anxiety. For these children, bedtime or nighttime may be connected to both stressful and traumatic experiences, e.g. being locked in their rooms, a lack of support or stimulation, or lots of strangers in the house, being left unsupervised during the night, domestic violence or emergency responders at the door. These children may link the fear that's inhabited body and mind to connect to bedtime in some way, with heightened responses in the body, faster breathing and heart rate, for example, and resistance to sleep if it's linked to fear and anxiety that something bad might happen, as it might already have happened for this child once or at many times in their past. So transitions. Care experienced children have lived through and survived numerous changes, losses and transitions over the course of their young lives. It's really important to bear in mind that nighttime is the prelude to separation anxiety from you. As I said earlier, these are children who have not developed a strong understanding yet of cause and effect and what Piaget calls object permanence. So when they close their eyes, there's always the potential fear that if they can't see you, that they might be lost or abandoned by you. Lack of routine. Most infants will have developed a regular sleep-wake cycle by the time they're approximately 6 months old, although this will vary for every child. For some adopted children, their sleep-wake cycles might be irregular and unpredictable due to the lack of scaffolding and modelling of routines and consistent, predictable caregiving and environment they inhabited in their early lives. So how can I help my adopted child in the early days, weeks and months? So let's think about sleep environment, bedtime routine and managing sleep problems. Sleep hygiene, body clock reminders. Children who've experienced early trauma will need support that combines both sensory strategies and therapeutic approaches, and you'll need to adapt and monitor these in a way that works for you both. Remember that you are both getting to know each other in the early days, weeks and months of being together. Some sleep difficulties in the first 12 months are common. Your child has navigated huge changes and transitions. They've gained new relationships with you, but they have also lost familiar places, people and spaces in their lives too. Everything will look, smell, sound and feel different. There may be more or less people in the house, different accents, new siblings, parents and grandparents, possibly pets, new schools and parks to get used to. Remember, moving to a new family is a high intensity experience and children may still be in their survival brains, so they're alert and ready for fight, flight or freeze, the opposite of what we actually need their brains and bodies to feel in the prelude to sleep. Survival mode creates adrenaline secretions which block the production of melatonin, which is crucial for sound sleep. In terms of the sleep environment, try to get as much information as you can from the foster carers about both current and historic sleeping habits. Did they sleep alone or share? What did their bedroom look and feel like? Did they sleep with an attachment object, a night light, soothing music on or off, the door open or closed? And when they were in their birth family, did things happen for them in their bedroom so they associate this danger feeling scared? Did they go to bed hungry so it was an intolerable feeling for them? Did they share with a sibling they no longer live with or have contact with? You will most likely have learned about your child's prelude to bed. Did they have a bath? Did they have stories? What are their favourites? Did they like cuddles and closeness of bed? When did they wake up? And how did they wake up, etc.? These are the things to be thinking about. Try to get as much information as you can about any initial sleep challenges when they first came into foster placement too. What helped them to get off to sleep? What didn't work, etc. Try to stick in the early weeks and months to the routines your child's most familiar with, even if you don't fully agree with all aspects of this. Remember, you're just using this as a platform to help the children navigate another huge transition. Coming into your home and lives and leaving their foster placement, which may have been the place where they've lived the longest part of their lives, is really crucial. So how do we help children who've experienced early trauma develop good sleep routines and hygiene? Sleep hygiene is about developing good habits to help children get a better quality of sleep. In terms of the sleep routine, think about the last 30 to 45 minutes before your child goes to bed. Try to get them to bed at the same time in the same sequence as much as you can. Using a visual timetable with language prompts to work through such that your child can hear, see and feel what to expect will help them to build up the predictability about their routine and help them make links between cause and effect and the object permanence I discussed earlier. Your child might need to hear a consistent message from you that bedrooms are a safe place in your house. They might need to see and hear and feel this message lots before they can truly trust in and believe that you mean what you say, as their bedroom may not have been a safe place in their past. You might need to show, take photos, use messages and a transitional object that you leave with your child at night time as you say goodnight that they can return to you in the morning. This will help to build up predictability and trust in you and their environment too. You could get a t-shirt with a photo of you all on that they can sleep in, or a cuddly toy with a message from you that they can replay. So let's think about sensory strategies for getting ready for bed. We're going to look at calming pre-bedtime activities outlined by the Spiral Foundation. So think about using some of the following recommended activities which can help to decrease your child's arousal state before bedtime even begins. Try to reduce use of bright screens, so that includes TV, computer and phones. Try to be with your child in a dim, quiet space before making your way to bed. Choose a relaxing activity, whether it's reading, drawing or word games. Listen to soothing, quiet music. It might be waves or rainfall or more traditional types of music, whatever works for your child. Wrap their body tightly in a blanket or encourage them to sit under a weighted blanket if appropriate. Take a warm bath or a shower. Use yoga or meditation with your child. Deep breathing exercises like balloon breathing or drinking room temperature water through a straw might help here. If they need proprioception with nurture strategies, a big hug or a firm massage on the back, hands or feet, such as playing the hot dog game, where firm pressure is used to add the sauces to the child who's a hot dog, before wrapping them in the blanket, which constitutes the bread, can be really a good one here. One of my families made this into their duck pancake game, and their child loved this and was a very calming activity for them. Remember that what works for one child might not work for another. That's why it's so hard to have an approach that is attachment, trauma and sensory informed. It'll take time to work out what works best for you and your child, and that's okay. For some children, they may not have had their fill of sensory information to feel calm and regulated, so they might need a small walk, some time on the trampoline, using the monkey bars, wall push-ups or some gentle rhythmic rocking on your lap or on a rocking chair, before they can even consider the prelude to bed. So routine and consistency helps early trauma, but some good general sleep hygiene can also help. So stick to the same bedtime each day. As I've said before, reinforce the message that bedrooms are safe places in your house. Simple messages like, you're safe, or in your pink bedroom with all your favourite toys, like Teddy, Mummy or Daddy is nearby. This message will help. Make rooms cosy and comforting, but not too stimulating. Think of their sensory needs. Put children to bed when drowsy, but still awake. Think about a comfort object to help with separation issues. So calming the body for sleep, a neuropsychological approach to sleep. Let's have a think about that. Moving to a new family, as I've said before, is a high intensity experience, and children may still be in their survival brains, so they're alert and wired for action, the opposite of what we need for sleep. The survival state produces adrenaline secretions which inhibit the production of melatonin, which is necessary for sound sleep. Some children sleep very heavily, but aren't necessarily having good quality sleep. A hyper child who falls asleep immediately may not have a calm enough body to promote good quality sleep. So let's think about some more calming strategies. Like the suggestions highlighted for sensory issues, the body needs to experience physical and emotional calm to be optimal state for settling to sleep. The body needs to feel safe in its actual surroundings and not be overwhelmed by fears of previous experiences. A safe, nurturing relationship in the present helps a child to find their way out of their past fears. Helping your child with daily experiences improves their chances of quality sleep. Think also of the heartbeat. If your child likes closeness and proximity, you can hold them to you and they can hear, feel your heartbeat. This can help with what's called co-regulation. This is an important early part of what's called the dance of synchronicity, that your child will probably have missed due to their early adverse experiences. If your child does not like that close hugginess, you could alternatively replicate the sound and rhythm of the heartbeat on your arms, back or hand, or let them copy so they can control the heartbeat sound. It's important to remember that for care experienced children, they might not know what calm looks or feels like in body or mind. They will need it consistently repeated many, many times to learn what that calm looks and feels like on the inside and the outside too. Alongside thinking about your child's state of calm, it's crucial to think about yours too, as they'll pick up on your emotional state at bedtime. Some of you will have heard of the window of tolerance. Think also about ways to keep yourself as calm as you can muster, which is really hard when you've had a busy, stressful day and are sleep deprived too. But the more regulated and calm you can project for your child, the more it will help them to keep regulated and calm in that moment before bedtime too. So let's think about what that calm means. Think about a small snack near to bedtime. Oats, milk, bananas, almonds all have a soporific effect. Think about having something in the room that is still about you when you're not there. I talked about the t-shirt earlier, or a pillowcase that has your scent on it, like lavender, for example. Some children like a tent over their bed as it can feel cosy and reduces external stimulation. When telling stories, think about the content. If going to sleep is a struggle, look for soothing stories with happy endings. If they like singing, sing to them. If you can put their name in the song, so much the better. Or use recorded songs if they or you prefer this. Some children will talk about things that worry them at this point because they feel safe to do so, but unless it's easily resolved, it's probably not the best time to do it. It might be better to write it down with them and tell them that you're going to think about this important thing and talk about it tomorrow. And then what's really important is that you follow through with this tomorrow. Kent Pass team also talk about creating a little sleep pack, which could be a shoebox, a jar or a bag. See their full article, which includes many of the helpful tips I've included in this webinar. In the sleep bag, there may be items such as lavender, a picture, or a special place of relaxation or a safe place visualization or drawing that you can use with your child to help them feel safe and calm, and visual prompts with a picture to remember special breathing, like the balloon breathing I talked about earlier, using worry dolls or monsters, worry monsters, that can help take those fears and worries away. Let's look at medical issues and additional support needs. Vaughan and Burrell talk about reminding ourselves that there are sleep clinics available through the NHS. These are worth considering in case there are any medical reasons for your child's sleep difficulties. Typically, melatonin is recommended as a medical response to sleep difficulties. This can help to reduce sleep difficulties, but if the core issue is psychological, it probably won't eradicate them completely. Children who've had very difficult early experiences may have more medical needs as well as more therapeutic needs. They aren't mutually exclusive. Monitor and check for any underlying medical issues and just keep looking. And finally, sleep issues may need a long-term response, but there is hope. Do think about therapeutic support as a way of helping you and your child make sense of their past and how it's affecting them in the present. For example, for some children, this might mean using a therapist to help you and your child puzzle this out. One size does not fit all, and this is certainly the case with sleep. When you find what works best for your child, keep this consistency and surety going, because these routines will, over time, help to signal the prelude to sleep and help calm your child's brain and body. And finally, your child's issues with sleep are neither their fault or yours. When you take on your child's hurts and pains, remember they become yours too. I hope that you found today's sleep webinar helpful. Please do look at the resources we've used for this session. And remember that as an Adoption Matters family, if you'd like to explore and discuss sleep issues more with us, you have a core offer of up to 4 consultation sessions with one of the CFAF therapists if you have 1 or more or 2 children, and a maximum of 6 sessions if you have 3 siblings or above. And this is available to you every year. Thanks for listening, and it's been lovely to spend some time with you today. Take care.